we've been talking about ourselves, reflecting on our position, the adoption curve. So that would also be my kind of initial thought on like for our listeners, what can we give them in terms of like what how to make this tangible? We're all living it, we're all breathing it. Mm-hmm. What can I do? And my first thing would still be going back to that adoption curve, really kind of reflecting on where are you, but also plotting out your team. And I think that exercise alone will already reveal a lot. And maybe you do it with your team, right? Where everyone does their own personal assessment and just kind of reflect on it. See where that conversation takes you.
Yep. I like that one. Always a big fan, like I said, of meeting people where they're at first. And then I think second, there's a piece around, so how does it impact your work, right? And depending on, your role of influence and kind of span of influence or whatever the term is, control, I forget the term, but it's more around, is AI a strategy for you? Is it an enabler? How does it fit into what you do? How does it accelerate you towards your vision, your key differentiator, the one thing you do really well as an organization or even as a department in a bigger organization, and really aligning that? Because I do hear a lot of, we now have an AI strategy where, okay, from our previous episode, his voice goes around in my head of like, well, no, you've always had like a digital or more recently a digital or a technical. This is just another element in the toolkit. So is it really a strategy? Is it another enabler? Is it another tool?
Yeah.
In an organization, General Motors, doing their supply chain efficiency, they had one digital tool that minimized errors. Now they use AI to minimize their errors, and it's doing it X times better, right? Or schools, there's a lot of post-secondary institutions that some are shying away from it. Some are like hanging their hat on it and it's truly being like one of their differentiators. So you can see how it is adopted in different places. But at the end of the day, what role is AI? Is it a strategy, a tool, an enabler for you for your team, for the organization, depending on the scale?
Yeah. Those examples actually trigger another one for me, like an architectural design firm that we've been working with. And they've set out to really kind of centralize all of that information that goes into like a construction project, which has set them up to produce or kind of build buildings way faster and with more accurate information in it. But one of the things there is that they still need to kind of obviously comply with building code. And I don't know if you ever read through the building code.
No,
but
I haven't. It's on my bucket list.
A million pages. And to make sure that everything is accurately kind of reflecting that, that's kind of where they've been implementing their first kind of AI experiments, is how can we kind of make that connection and not literally have to go through the building code or rely on what you still remember from reading it, but literally kind of accelerate that connection, right? Still in line with their being able to build faster and more accurately and produce more accurate drawings. Just an accelerator. So I think that's another example like there.
Came from a curiosity. For sure. No one wants to read that, like a pain point, and then someone tested it.
Yeah.
Tried it out.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And then I think the third point that comes to mind is what we talked about kind of closer to the end, is as a leader, adopt or accept that role as a curator, a facilitator, and not necessarily an expert. So still use your judgment, your empathy, your critical thinking to ask the right questions to facilitate the implementation. But, well, first of all, don't do it all by yourself, but also don't expect yourself to know everything. And there was this quote that I came across from the CPO of Zappi. It's a marketing insights platform that really kind of summarized that for me. And it said, leading change is a constant between strategy, structure, and flexibility. It's about the poetry and the plumbing.
Very cool. I like that.